Welcome. I'm Tom Fury. This is your news. So I've been looking at Greenland, looking at the facts and the also striking off what I can find to be more propagandist. Um, I've been having a look for a little while now, and it's funny. Trump first mentioned Greenland quite some time back, and a lot of the stuff I've been reading is from about 11 months ago. But I know he mentioned it way before that, and a lot of people with Venezuela and everything else think everything is about oil. And this is a much more complicated story than that. If we go to Greenland, we leave Venezuela where it is, because I believe the truth of that will come out in its own time. But there's this massive socialist presence in Europe. That's just my take. There's a massive socialist presence in Europe, and it goes all the way into Asia, and it's a massive continent, supercontinent, with a lot of socialism on it. Britain is being lost to socialism as well. That's got to be worrying for America, being surrounded on all sides themselves for the first time. And there's strategic plays that have been on the table for a while. So why Greenland? And is this story being told correctly? Well, the first thing to understand about Greenland is it's very strategic, and it's not just America that's making a play for Greenland. Europe has been trying it for years. So Denmark claims to own Greenland. It's actually one of their territories. It was originally, I think, Norway that claimed it because of the Vikings and all the rest of it. It became a Denmark territory, and Greenland wants independence. Independence, not to be American, by the way. It wants independence, and it's got about 56,000 people living there, but about 42 to 48% of the money that comes into Greenland is from Denmark. They give them a subsidy because it's harsh living conditions. It's not much economy there. So they give them about 800 million a year, and Greenlanders have said they want independence, but not if it makes the standard of living worse, because it's pretty hard there as it is. So you've also had China, who have tried to constantly are trying to make presence in Greenland. The Danish have blocked them thus far, but the Chinese have been trying it for years, both for the natural oil, minerals, stuff that's there, and for territorial and strategic purposes. Everybody knows what Greenland is. And this is the same for the Chinese, and the Russians are also eyeing up Greenland. They know the strategic, because there's shipping lanes that go past Greenland. Whoever controls Greenland controls a lot of shipping lanes, has a massive strategic advantage. It's not just about oil or minerals. They are the absolute bonus. But make no mistake, when people talk about America and oil, America pulled a con off back in the probably in the 80s, with this whole fossil fuels thing. And while everybody was panicking about fossil fuels running out, America bought them all up. America is completely self-sufficient in oil, completely self-sufficient. So whilst, yes, no country's going to say no to taking oil, at the same time, it's not a primary. I don't think in this case, because they're not running out of oil, not anytime soon. They're completely self-sufficient. This is more strategy. They don't want the Russians to have it. They know that European Union is trying to become a European empire, a socialist one at that. They don't want them to have it. And they also have always used Britain as their staging ground in Europe. Well, they're losing Britain because Britain's becoming socialist too. So with both Russia having a war, the world being in a state of war anyway, and with China being geared up and ready for war as well, I think America's trying to make a first strike. I think they're trying to do it before the others do. Now here's where it gets interesting, because people are talking about them invading Greenland, but the Greenlanders want independence. They don't want to be taken over by America. And The Danish can't really stop it. They don't. One, they have no real defenses to defend Greenland. The ships they've got are not the right. They don't have landing craft, nothing. So they couldn't really defend it. But more than that, in the international community, if Greenland demanded its independence, is the international stage really likely to deny it? No. But the subsidy money is the problem. And also, here's the other thing. So if Trump went and invaded Greenland and took it over as part of America, that would mean he would have just added, I think it's roughly about 15 new members of Congress and other places that would have voting powers in America. If he took that over as an actual part of America, he'd be giving his Democrats allies more votes for the coming elections. It wouldn't be the best idea. But there's two other strategies to make it a territory, or to have, I think it's called a COFU agreement, and that's what they can have bases there, shipping lanes, everything else. But the country has its own government, runs itself, but may receive these subsidies and everything else from allowing the Americans to do this. So there's actually multiple ways this could be done. So what's really going on is this has been a target for years for Europe, America, and Russia, and China. They've all been looking at Greenland. The ice is receding as well, which for the future could be very interesting. But for right now, it's 90% covered in ice. So there is truth to the minerals, there is truth to the oil, but it's also the strategic, the shipping lanes, everything. There's so much more. And all of the major continents and powers know it. And they are all trying to get it. So if we're going to talk about this, let's tell the truth. I'm not saying Trump's doing good, but if he offers them independence, and that's what they've always wanted, who's going to stop him? If they agree to it, who is going to stop him? Because he wouldn't have broken any laws. So I'm not convinced that he's going to go and invade. I'm more convinced that he's going to try and talk to them directly, or get someone to talk to them directly, to maybe work out one of these kinds of agreements. I'm not sure. If he does go and invade, I'd be surprised, and I'd be very surprised if he did, because it wouldn't be hard to invade, if he just didn't use it to talk to someone and get them their independence. Because I honestly think it would be better for Trump, if they had an independence but an alliance with America, than it would be to actually take it on as a state. For the moment anyway, for the simple fact that it is completely socialist, and would add too much power to the Democrat voting, because that's the way things work in America. So it doesn't matter necessarily how many people you got there. So it could cause some damage to them in the long term. So this is, as best as I can tell, the facts of Greenland. Denmark can't defend it. Greenland want independence, but they don't want to lose the extra money that they get. America has wanted it for ages. Russia has been trying to get it for ages. China has actively, aggressively tried to get it. So it's been on the cards for years. This is not new. It's not crazy. This is a strategy they've all been looking at for a very, very long time. And when the world's at war, this is when people start making bold moves, possibly stupid moves that could put fuel on the fire. But unfortunately, right now is a time of conquest, and we're going just like we're repeating history. But this is when people do make tactical moves. And in fairness to Trump, let's not call him evil or stupid or crazy for making this move, because it's the same move all of the other countries want to make. It's the same move that China has tried to make, just not so aggressively. So let's just be real about it. If it was such a crazy idea and he's such a tyrant, why does everybody else want Greenland as well? And they were edging towards it anyway. So let's not play fools here. We need to know these facts. Otherwise, it just seems like Trump's on a rampage without real cause except oil. And there's so much more to this story. The facts are out there, and they're not hard to find. There's a lot of bollocks, like There's polls saying 57% of Greenlanders want to be part of America, but it's propaganda. There's a lot of things I could say like that. Oh, they want to be part of America. They don't. They want to be independent. All 56,000 of them. And most of them are not Danish, by the way. This is the other thing. They're Inuits. Most of them are Inuits. And they're actually rejected when they go to Denmark. Although how much so is probably, again, slightly propagandist, so it's hard to tell. But yeah, I just wanted people to understand this is not the crazy lunatic strategy that some would have you believe. This is what's been coming for years. And someone was going to make this move sooner or later. And I think Trump's just aware that he's running out of time because people are making their moves already. So, and they're not painting him as the perfect good guy, because no politician's a perfect good guy. But I'm not having, I'm sick of people calling him crazy or stupid and all this other stuff when there's so much more behind it. He's actually doing what you might expect a leader to do in this current situation, good or bad. So, and then you make your own minds up. Anyway, I'm Tom Fury. This is Zero News. I'm calling it a day for now.